Hi, welcome to your checkup. We are the patient education podcast where we bring conversations from the doctor's office to your ears. On this podcast, we try to bring medicine closer to its patients. I'm Ed Dulesky, a family medicine doctor in the Philadelphia area.
And I'm Nicole Rufo. I'm a nurse.
And we are so excited you were able to join us here again today. Big week this week. Not a week of leisure.
No,
leisure time is over. Leisure time is over.
Someone went to work this week.
Yeah. Just because when I was doing my interview with them, they were like, yeah, don't talk about it too much. I mean, not in so many words.
Well, yeah, we're not going to name.
No, we're not going to name where I am. Of course, someone could look it up, but we're not going to name where, but I loved every bit of it. So I am incredibly excited and I'm so happy is really what I wanted to say. It's busy. I love the opportunity to get to meet new people. I tossed out the podcast, the business card every once in a while. And I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. It's such a fun thing. I know every day is not going to be easy, but it was a blast. In other news, we've been excommunicated from our house because our entire HVAC system blew out.
Oh my God. Ugh. So aggravating. Allegedly getting fixed later this week, though. So we'll see if that happens.
Yeah, giant perk of renting.
Not our problem. Except it is our problem when we're too hot and can't sleep.
No, and little boys get really hot.
Little boys get really hot.
Yeah, too hot. But sleeping with the windows open, it is loud.
Yeah. Our street itself is quiet, but then the people are not sometimes in the middle of the night if they're walking home from a bar or something.
Yeah. I'm pretty susceptible to that. I think you sleep through a lot of that stuff.
I know, which is shocking because I'm such a light sleeper.
You are. I could get up in the middle of the night and you hear his little
oh my God, I hear Ollie move and I'm like, oh, what was that? Is he throwing up?
Have I explained this this scene where you could be dead asleep, you hear and you're on the if you're laying in the bed, you're on the right side, you grab the corner, kind of taking off the screen protector of a thing, but you grab the corner, you, as if it's a cape, fling the blanket and comforter off, and in one fell swoop, while that's coming out, you are already 2 feet on the ground with a towel in hand somehow, tossing it under this man as he's getting ready to puke.
Yeah, it's a mother's instinct.
It's fantastic. And then all the while, I'm just stirring, waking up, being like, what's happening?
And then Eddie's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic thing. You're so agile in these moments. And you are in other times too, I guess. But, this is just maybe the most impressive one. Let's see. Have we eaten anything interesting?
Have we? I feel like we need to figure out our new routine with your new work schedule. Because I feel like we just had girl dinner every night.
Yeah, that was something.
Although I did come home for lunch the other day and you had a whole steak made.
That was funny. Well, tell us about what happened from your perspective.
When I came home for lunch?
Yeah.
Well, we had planned, I knew my day was going to be a little lighter and I can walk home in 10 minutes. So I can walk home, have lunch, come back. And we had planned that I would come home that day because Eddie had some admin time. So he was going to be at the house. And then I texted you probably less than an hour before I had planned to come back. Something that there better be a steak on the table waiting for me when I got home. Joking.
Right. I could sense there was a joke.
And then I came home and there was a steak on the table for me. It was great.
And Brussels sprouts.
It's delicious. The best lunch.
Yeah, I really leaned into that bit. I wanted to do anything more than sit through more of those onboarding videos.
Yeah, they're always rough.
So I ran to the store and got the meat and cooked it up real quick. It actually came out really good.
Yeah, it was delicious for what you claim to be like a rush job.
It was a rush job. It was.
It wasn't a very exciting week as you were just working. We were like getting used to and figuring out everything. Our house is hot because the temperature crept up again and we don't have any air.
Yeah,
so we left.
We did. I'm hoping the storms come through and bring down the temperature. I'm hopeful that it won't be as hot during the day if we leave the windows open. I'm no meteorologist, but I'm seeing like lows in the mid 50s, which will be very comfortable on a morning W.
It will be.
Yeah. No, but I'm looking forward to getting into more of a rhythm, like when to exercise, morning, afternoon, getting back at normal times after like finishing seeing patients and stuff. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
Yep.
Anything you're looking forward to this week?
Anything I'm looking forward to this week? Well, yeah, Jill's coming on Thursday and we're going to church, aka Tom's Dim Sum.
That's going to be so funny.
That'll be fun. And then, well, I guess I am kind of looking forward to not having to go into work on Friday. That's always a good day because I'm meeting the dog sitter for the wedding.
Oh, you know what? I didn't put two and two together that you were not going to go in person on Friday because you were going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to work here because the dog sitter is going to come here for the wedding because we're kind of closer to the venue. And I think 1:30 she's coming and we're going to have a meet and greet.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I wonder, I know we're worried about him jumping up on the dress because he's just so excitable. Pictures would be adorable. I know you're thinking about it though. Maybe you see what she has to say about it.
Yeah, I'll see like if that's something that she can do also, which I feel like it might be. But then a girl I work with gave me like someone she knows like personally, and then also does like comes and like walks her dogs too. But then she also will like bring your dog to like your wedding venue for pictures. So
are we like locked into this lady you're meeting and greeting on Friday?
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh.
I mean, the like meet and greet is to see,
if they
you vibe. Yeah.
Jinx.
What are you looking forward to this week?
I'm truly like, not to be a total nerd, I am a freak. I like, anyone asks me how this thing is going as I'm just getting started, I honestly can't get enough. And like the office is great and I'm excited to get back in there. I'm excited to get settled in. I am excited for a dictation service. I know all of these things that I'm saying are about work. I think I need to be severed.
Oh, yeah. We like started watching Severance because why did we get that?
It was part of the credit card.
With our credit card.
Yeah.
What is it on? It's on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started watching it because like everyone loves it. And I think like the final season came out like last year or like earlier this year or something. And it was a whole big to do. Yeah, you definitely need to be severed. Like you need to come home from work, not think about work, not read about things that are wrong with patients, not
I know.
log into Epic.
I know, I'm obsessed. It's just so fun, which is bad. I do need to find a balance because I noticed it like this first week where I was like coming back and I was just thinking about it too much and then ignoring my Nikki.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
I wouldn't say you were ignoring me.
That's kind of you. I'm going to be critical of myself. Yeah, something I could work on. We'll see as I get more settled in,
Yeah.
There are worse things. I could hate where I work. I don't.
You could.
It's the opposite.
That would be tragic one weekend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That would be the worst. Nope. It's great. All right. What do you think?
Shall we?
I think we shall. So what are we going to talk about today, Nick?
Well, since it is coming up on that time of year, we're talking about the flu.
We certainly are. And we picked this week for this episode because it is usually the time when most doctors' offices and pharmacies start delivering the flu vaccine to people. So it's a timely episode. We have one from last year, but we're hoping to give a little more detail and a little more of an update with current numbers.
Okay, Eddie, tell us what the flu is.
So influenza, or the flu, if you will, it's a contagious virus and it spreads every year, usually from late fall to early spring. Not exclusively, but those are the general times. It can cause a lot of symptoms, but there are a few key ones. Fever, cough, sore throat, body aches is a pretty specific one, and tiredness. So a lot of people recover in a week or two, but the flu can be devastating to certain people and lead to some serious, serious problems. I mean, flu pneumonia can be really nasty. Flu in the wrong person can lead to hospitalization. And very unfortunately for frail people or more vulnerable people, even healthy people, flu can cause death. So that's sad, especially in young children, older adults, pregnant people, and those with chronic health conditions. It is a big deal. It is something to think about. So on a macro level, can you tell us how common and serious the flu is?
So every year in the U.S., at least, the flu causes an estimated 9 to 41 million illnesses. Out of those, there are about 140 to 960,000 hospitalizations, and then 12,000 to about 80,000 deaths per year.
Yeah, big ranges there.
Yeah.
I think it changes from year to year. There are good flu years. There are bad flu years, but those are the wide ranges that are seen, which, I mean, if you couldn't tell, that is very common. We're going to have some more statistics for you later in the episode talking about like how individually the flu might affect you. But my big takeaway, those are very big numbers.
Yeah. I mean, even on the lower end, like 12,000 people dying in a year from the flu.
Right. And especially for something where like there's a vaccine that could help prevent that. So, right. And that's just in the United States. Globally, influenza is responsible for anywhere from 291,000 to 646,000 deaths every year, which is sad, but it's a real thing that we need to think and talk about. So about 8% of people in the US get symptomatic flu each season. And that's 8% isn't every year. So we see, depending on the year, it's anywhere from 3 to 11%. So big range. On the upper ends, that's 1 in 10 people get the flu, which is no joke. I mean, 10 people, one of them probably got the flu. If it wasn't enough to just feel crappy and get sick, the flu ends up being a major cause of missed work and school, with estimates of millions of days lost each year for school and work, which, who doesn't like to maybe not work a little bit? But when you're at home feeling awful and not working, and you think about productivity and stuff, probably not the best. Have you ever had to stay home from work with the flu?
I mean, probably. Listen, I've never got tested for the flu because I've never gone to the doctor because I've been sick with a virus.
No,
in my adult life. I don't know. Maybe my mom took me to the pediatrician or something, but
I don't know. There was that one time when you were ill and your heart rate was high. You had a formal fever, and I was like, "What's wrong with this lady?"
No, I have never felt that sick in my life. That was crazy.
And that's that's what we're talking about. Sometimes that happens to people here. I don't think I've ever had the flu. I've never been sick enough to the point where I reached out and got help and had the flu. And the body aches thing has never happened to me before. So can't offer any personal experience here.
All right, Eddie. Tell us why we have to get, or you would have to get the flu vaccine every year and not just, one and done.
Yeah, so it's because the flu virus itself changes from year to year, which ends up being kind of a frustrating thing. So it's updated annually to protect against the most common types of flu expected each season. Some strategy is that they look at the opposite hemisphere and see what affected them in that flu season, and then they try to make the vaccine for that year based on that information. It's not an exact thing, which is why you'll see later in the show that the flu vaccine doesn't exclusively help every single person, which casts some doubt, I think, among certain populations about its effectiveness and why we push this so much. But it is still a great deal of help. So the CDC, and this recommendation was done at the time when the CDC was of sound mind and recommendations were coming out that were scientific. I think that's called into question every day. Mm-hmm. This information today is from several different sources and reviews. As well as the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices recommends that everyone aged 6 months and older get a flu vaccine every year, unless there's a formal medical reason that they can't, which are extremely far and few between.
Yeah.
Like if you're listening to this, you probably don't have one of those medical reasons. All of this to say, a little tidbit here. If it's your first flu vaccine as like a baby, you need 2 doses. Mm-hmm. Ask your doctor how that actually goes. A common one yesterday that came up was someone got the flu vaccine in the late spring of just last year. So at this point, a couple months ago. Mm. And they were like, oh, do I need to get the flu vaccine again? And my answer was yes, because
it's like different one.
It's a different one.
Yeah.
And it's new. So many primary care offices do it. Many pharmacies do it. So go out and get your flu shot. I'm going to say that like 5 more times in this show. So Nikki, why don't you tell us a little bit? Can you give us some numbers? Give us an idea. And we kind of hinted at it a little bit about that it's not perfect. It doesn't exclusively help everyone all the time.
Okay, let's talk about numbers and how well the flu vaccine works.
Yeah, so it's not perfect, but it helps a lot. And some of that information is coming next. So the flu vaccine is about 40 to 60% effective, and it depends on the season, it depends on the person's age, and some other health things. What I will say is that, of course, this isn't as effective as other mainstream vaccines that we have. I think of MMR vaccine, measles, mumps, rubella, where the effectiveness at preventing those things after 2 doses is in the high 90 percentile. For COVID vaccines early on, we were seeing reports of low 90s% effectiveness at preventing these things. Things change over time, but essentially 40 to 60%, it's effective. Now, it is much more helpful when you think about what it does, like what it actually steps out and makes things happen. So in the 2023 to 2024 season, the flu vaccine reduced the risk of flu-related outpatient visits by about 59 to 67% in children. And in adults, 33 to 49%. I just want to sit with that. Like the vaccine itself took the number of times that people had to pick up the phone or go online, say, I feel that awful that I need to go to the doctor, and take time out of their day and go do that, wait in line, pay the fee or whatever copay, co-insurance, pay the whatever, get seen, get the advice and the testing that you have the flu, maybe get medicine, maybe not. It prevented all of that. So, I mean, what's more important maybe is that it also reduced hospitalizations. In children, it reduced hospitalizations by 52 to 61%. And in adults, about 41 to 44%. And you might find different data elsewhere, but this is what we found. Is it fun to see a kid in the hospital with flu?
No, it certainly isn't.
Can it be pretty nasty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can. I mean, I've watched kids stop breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
Awful. I've seen little old ladies pass away from the flu in the hospital.
Not the lols.
Yeah. Preventable to a certain degree. This helps. It's something to think about. And so really be sincere when you're thinking about the community benefit that the flu vaccine gives, even if you're like a strapping 25-year-old who's invincible and feels like you're healthy.
Yeah, your Meemaw isn't.
Right. I like how we picked Meemaw.
I know. I feel like
that was good because we don't have any sort of
we don't have a Meemaw.
No, there's no Meemaw in our sphere.
I feel like Meemaw is just a No offense if you have or are a Mima.
Let us know if you have a Mima.
It's just like a funnier.
I think it's a little funnier. But no shade on the people with the Mimas. And if those numbers weren't enough for you, 2017 and 2018, there's a lot of data for the flu. There's estimations that it prevented 7.1 million illnesses, 3.7 million medical visits, and 109,000 hospitalizations and 8,000 deaths in the U.S. And I'll tell you what, even then, the vaccine was only reported to be 38% effective. So all of those benefits, maybe you hit the backwards button on this episode to go listen to those again. All of those benefits still happened, even though the vaccine was only 38% effective in that year. So there's more to it. It's a little complicated, and that's why it takes like a whole podcast episode to explain it, or a whole article. But that's what we're talking about. It may not be perfect, but it does a world of good, and it's very, very helpful. So those are big, systemic, big, like worldwide population health numbers about like why it's a decent idea to think about getting the flu vaccine. Let's bring it down to a little bit of a more narrow level and talk about you. So, Nikki, can you tell us a little bit more about the individual benefits of the flu vaccine?
I can. Well, first and foremost, obviously, it reduces your risk of getting the flu, and vaccination lowers your chance of getting the flu down to about 0.9% every season.
Pretty low.
Pretty low.
Pretty low. What else can it do for you?
So preventing more serious illnesses that will land you in the hospital or might end up with death.
You don't want death on your problem list.
You
That would be
don't want
bad.
death on your problem
No,
list.
that would be a bad thing on your list.
Don't you hate when you end up with death?
I hate ending up with death. That sucks. It's a bad day.
Oh,
Can't come back
man.
from that. Well, some
That's
people
messed
do.
up.
That's an episode for another day.
So because it's reducing your risk of getting the flu, reducing serious illnesses and hospitalizations, we're reducing our time of missing work or school, which both are very important and
Yep.
can kind of be a pain to miss, and protects people who are more vulnerable, such as people who are pregnant or infants or the lols,
Right.
the little old ladies,
Those little old ladies.
or, like if someone's immunocompromised,
Exactly.
who can get like really, really sick if they get the flu,
Right. There we go. And, zooming out, there are some societal benefits. And we've talked a little bit about what that looks like. You are protecting others. Yeah, I'm supposed to feel preachy at this point. When more people get vaccinated, it helps protect other people who can't get vaccinated. Think about what we said earlier. We said the flu vaccine is recommended for all people 6 months and up. What about those babies? Babies to 5 months, they can't get the flu vaccine. So by you getting it, you help protect them if you spend more time around them. Something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I see you pondering over there.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking like if we ever have an infant during flu season, God help anyone around us.
Oh,
I feel like we would be psychotic.
If there's any indication with how we handle Ollie,
Yeah, no.
we're
Don't go near
nuts.
my fetus.
We're nuts.
My fetus.
Yeah. It reduces strain on hospital. I don't know how, as an average listener, this that you would feel this effect during severe flu seasons. I mean, there can be tens of thousands of hospitalizations related to the flu. That puts strain on the hospital. Hospitals know that this is happening. They know it's coming. Hospitals are more full at those times. And to be honest, there are a finite amount of resources. And I think we saw that during COVID, that the system was being topped out, and you see what things happen, like elective surgeries get canceled, or care is more divided among more people for a finite amount of people. I mean, when you were working on the floor, could you do the same thing for 2 patients as you could if you had 7?
Well, they would never give me 7 patients in peds.
Fair.
Yeah, the ratios are much better in peds because no one ever wants anything to happen to a kid. But I imagine no, I wouldn't be able to
point.
if I was in the adult world, which I never would do that ever on the floor.
God bless him.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Woof. Anyway. But no, the days that we were like during when it's like peak, more like RSV season, which is also like flu season. Yeah, getting like an extra kid when you would have like an otherwise full assignment really just throws your whole day off.
Yep. It's a lot. 30 patients on a list of inpatient patients is way different than 12. There's just less time in a day to address and talk about everything. Mm-hmm. And like it doesn't, I feel like people sometimes like snap their fingers and make it seem like things just happen, like and the magic happens in a hospital, but like it's finite. So this gets us to a very important question, one that is often asked. Is the flu vaccine safe? Yes.
Yeah.
It's very safe. Many people have no problems getting it. Some may have mild soreness at the site of injection, maybe a little temperature bump, probably nothing that matches a fever, 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And it all goes away quickly.
What do you say when people tell you that they don't want to get the flu shot because when they get the flu shot, they get the flu?
I would say that I appreciate that they're worried and that I think they may have a little bit of a misunderstanding about what happens during the vaccine. Mm-hmm. I would also say some of the point of the vaccine itself is to drum up the immune system in a way that you create this immunity to the flu. So you may feel a little bit of that immune system activation in the way of feeling a little blah for a little while. But you know what? I think there's a lot to be said for like having that conversation when people are so dug in like a very quick visit, which is why we're doing this here. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Was it a decent explanation, you think?
I think so.
So yeah, all that to say, the vaccine itself cannot give you the flu. Plain English. This is a good one. So despite so many people, qualifying to get the flu vaccine, in the US, it seems that only about 40 to 46% of people get the flu vaccine every year. And some groups have even lower coverage, especially in children and young adults. Globally, vaccination rates are even lower, with about only 25% of the general population vaccinated each year. So I guess this leaves me thinking, like, why? Why is that sentiment there? Like, so many people don't get it. I think I think one thing is that this won't happen to me.
Yeah.
Mentality.
Well, and also, how do I say this without, well, I don't think I would offend anyone. I feel like people just don't care about other people in general.
Yeah, like empathy and compassion don't go far beyond the realm of what you see.
They're immediate, yeah, like themselves. Yeah.
I think there's some of that. Mm-hmm. I do. I think in the young adult population, it's like, why would this affect me? Mm-hmm. A third layer, I think, is distrust with the medical system. I think there's a healthy amount of that out there, which is why we do something like this to try to cross that bridge and help people get a better understanding of like actually what's going on. But I think there's a good amount of distrust. There's a good amount of distrust with big pharma. In this situation, I think it's a little misguided. And I think this is a purely beneficial thing that will just help. Mm-hmm. But it's not lost on me that it takes a lot to earn trust. And there have been certain things that have happened in the world and in medicine that take a deep gash and leave a deep scar on trust. I don't think it should apply here, though.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, those numbers are very low.
What numbers?
40 to 46%.
Oh, yeah, I know.
especially when it comes to like saving lives.
Yeah, could be higher.
Could be higher. When should the flu vaccine be given?
It's best to get it before the season starts, so around now.
Exactly.
The ideal timing, you'll probably, like if you're at the doctor, will probably be asked about it. If you have your like patient portal thing, you'll probably get a notification that's like it's due for your flu shot.
Yep.
When you're at the pharmacy, they'll probably ask you.
You bet.
So it's best to get it right like before the season starts, or kind of like right at the beginning. But really, if you get it, like mid-season, it's still helpful.
Totally. Better late than never. And so the big idea here is to protect yourself and protect your community. Really think about getting the flu vaccine every year, because when it comes to the flu, it is the best way to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your neighbors. Helps keep everyone healthier, reduces burden on hospitals, keeps you in work, fewer days missed, keeps kids in school, and keeps more people alive and feeling well, which I think is a good enough reason to endorse getting your flu vaccine this year and every year. Feel good about that?
Yeah.
Great. We thank you for coming back to another episode of Your Checkup. Hopefully, you were able to learn something for yourself, a loved one, or
a neighbor who needs the flu vaccine. You guys can go together.
You can't go together with your neighbor. Check out our website. Find us on Threads. The most active there. Not so much now, me working and having to, not be on the internet all day. Send us some fan mail, if you will. That's a one-way street, so we can read it, but we can't respond to you if anyone feels left out that we haven't been responding. And shout out Ernest and Sons for that amazing sandwich that I had last week. Most importantly, stay healthy, my friends. Until next time, I'm Ed Dulesky.
I'm Nicole Rufo.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
This information may provide a brief overview of diagnosis, treatment, and medications. It's not exhaustive and is a tool to help you understand potential options about your health. It doesn't cover all details about conditions, treatments, or medications for a specific person. This is not medical advice or an attempt to substitute medical advice. You should contact a healthcare provider for personalized guidance based on your unique circumstances. We explicitly disclaim any liability relating to the information given or its use. This content doesn't endorse any treatments or medications for a specific patient. Always talk to your healthcare provider for complete information tailored to you. In short, I'm not your doctor.
I am not your nurse.
And make sure you go get your own checkup with your own personal doctor.